You're listening to Red Pill 78. I am the corruption detector, and this is your Red Pill news for March 11th, 2019. I'm going to begin the video with the most recent drop of the evening, and normally I wouldn't start backwards like this, but it's extremely important, and I want to bring everybody's attention to it. Our favorite Anon posts a tweet from our friend Nate Kane, the Clinton Foundation whistleblower. Earlier this evening, Nate posted that some very suspicious things have taken place today concerning my family. I can't get into detail, but it left us all more than a little disturbed. Please pray for us and for our protection. For the public record, I am not suicidal, am in good health, and avoid risky behavior. This is extremely concerning, given the fact of what we know Nate is involved with. We know that he is the individual who provided whistleblower documentation to the OIG. The fact that Nate is posting this leads me to believe one thing, and that is that someone must have made an attempt on his life or his family's life today, or at least got close enough to scare him or to make him feel that either his life or the life of his family members were in danger. We know the reputation of the people behind the foundation that Nate blew the whistle on. We know what they would do to stop themselves from going to prison. Right now, Nate Kane is all that stands between justice and the future of these people. Nate Kane is all that stands between the future of our nation and what we all need to see happen. This is now the most probable thing that these individuals will see prison time for. It's completely legitimate. They clearly went against the best interest of our nation, and if it wasn't for Nate, then they may have gotten away with it. Now, I still think that they're going to see justice as a result of their actions, but if something happens to Nate or his family, it's not going to be worth it. Perhaps it will be for him. Perhaps he's ready to do this, to sacrifice himself, but I think that he would rather not have that happen. I certainly know that I would rather that didn't happen. So I want everyone to keep Nate Kane and his family in your prayers tonight. That's why I'm opening the show with this. This is extremely important. The number of people that have ended up on the wrong end of a situation because they tried to go against the Clintons is extremely, extremely worrisome. So again, please keep Nate and his family in your prayers tonight. This is so important. So we need to hold him and his family in our prayers, and we need to surround them all with the healing and powerful protection of the Lord our God. And if the government allows something to happen to him, I am going to be very, very upset. President Trump, Lindsey Graham, Senator Grassley, we need to make sure that this man and his loved ones are safe and protected. We cannot lose another person to these evil people because they were trying to do the right thing. This is why people don't come forward and do the right thing, because they're afraid to lose everything they have. He's only just regained a career. He's only just been able to start back working again. Now, our favorite Anon here says, stay in the light. Stay out of the shadows. Don't go anywhere where you are going to be in danger. You have to be public. You have to stay public. Remain in open comms with Senator Graham and Grassley regarding Whistleblower Protection Act. They will take your phone calls. I think that our favorite Anon is telling Nate and his family that they will be under protection if they just reach out and ask for it. I think that it's very, very clear that the team, the president, the people behind this mission would be devastated if something were to happen. Nate, I implore you, get in contact with the people that can protect you. Now, one final thing. Nate has asked that everyone continue to pray for our president and for those patriots in our government to have the courage to do the right thing. If any of you are listening, take heed. Do the right thing. And please, everyone, pray not only for Nate and his family, but pray for our president and pray for the successful completion of the mission. Now, speaking of that nefarious individual, here's a recent image that just came out of, I believe it was Norway. My friend Space Shot sent it over and said that. And I want you to look at the face of this individual And tell me if that doesn't look like rapidly deteriorating health. I saw people the other day screaming on Twitter saying that, our favorite Anon said that Bill and Hillary's health was going to rapidly deteriorate. Well, just because they're not out in the public saying that it's happening, again, doesn't mean that it's not happening. Look at those bags under the eyes. Look at that puffy face. I think this is the face of someone who is suffering from some serious alcoholism. I've heard that Hillary is a big fan of vodka early in the day, and she sure looks like she's retaining water to me all over. So, Hillary, if you're watching this, I'm sure that you're probably holding on to a lot of deep-seated emotional baggage, probably very on edge, thinking that it's only a matter of time. It's only going to be a couple of days maybe before you're going to be seeing the inside of a jail cell. So I don't blame you. I can certainly understand it. But at this point, I think we all need to recognize this for what it is. It's not long now. You can tell there's a lot of miles on this face, and this is the look of someone who knows that their goose is cooked. Now, today, there was a House Rules Committee hearing on the Mueller report, and the Congress was asking for passage of a resolution to say that the Mueller report should not be kept secret. It should just be put out there. And right here, Representative Michael Burgess made a really good point, and Method sent this over, so I want to go ahead and play it.
We're here talking about the Mueller report that has not even been released yet. I think points in a general direction. You may think that Russia did something wrong in the last election, but let's be honest. You think President Trump did something wrong, and that something wrong was that he won an election that none of you expected him to win.
Exactly. They never expected him to win, and they never expected her to lose. They will stop at nothing to try to bring down our president. Well, guess what, guys? Even if the Mueller report is made public, the only thing it's going to do is correlate the actions of the DNC, Hillary, and the people in the deep state with the actions of those working with Russia, for Russia, to give information to that camp, okay? False information. The Russians, maybe they did want to mess up our election cycle. Maybe they did want to throw a monkey wrench into our democratic process. And I would say that they probably did, because it sure seems to me, after everything we've learned, that it was only the Russians that gave the information to Hillary, her team, Fusion GPS, Christopher Steele. All of these people have one thing in common. All of these people were working so diligently to try to take down our president that they didn't care about the veracity of the information that they were using to do it. Or maybe it's that they just didn't mind that it was bad information, because it's called that wrap-up smear. Remember, as Nancy Pelosi told us, you take that information, you spread it out into the press, you get validation by the reporting, and then you take it and you use it to try to take down your political opponent. The wrap-up smear. Well, they never thought she would lose because of that smear that they were working so hard to put out against our president. And now that she did lose, they need to do whatever they can to make sure that our president does not complete and fulfill his mission. Well, guess what, guys? The Ides of March are almost here, and the mission is almost complete. Now, I had already finished my video, but Methods had sent this over to me, and this is too important not to put out there. He says this conversation is very telling. We're going to go ahead and take a listen.
Well, Sarah, we'll start with you because you've been investigating this from day one, is that they don't have anything. And now that we had last Friday the beginning of the release of all the depositions, we also see a lot of criminal activity. Especially as it relates to the dossier, is at the heart and soul of all of this. And everybody was warned, never verified. Steele hated Trump. Hillary paid for it. The DNC paid for it. The FBI paid for it. The Russian oligarchs paid for it. And Steele doesn't stand by it, so you can't verify it.
Yeah, so think about this, Sean. You just laid it out perfectly. There is absolutely no evidence that we've seen yet. We know Senator Burr has already come out publicly and said if he were to write the report today, he would actually have to write the report stating that there was absolutely no evidence of collusion or conspiracy between the Trump campaign and Russia. But what we've seen over the last 2 years with all the investigations being conducted by Congress, the investigations that I've been on, John Solomon, you've been on, everything that we've reported shows a direct line between Russia and the Hillary Clinton campaign. This is what's so incredible. So if anything needs to be investigated, and not only that, we've not only seen that, we also saw extensive abuse and malfeasance in the FBI, what we're seeing with the FISA documentation, and here you have Adam Schiff, who is so desperate that something come out that he's moving forward with his own investigations with absolutely no criminal evidence of anything. So if anything is going to come out of this, I think right now what we're seeing is that there needs to be a full-fledged investigation by the Department of Justice into what is alleged and believed to be criminal activity.
We learned today,
on Hillary
and I want to get some analysis from Pam. We learned today that those investigations have been ongoing, and they're happening, and they're real.
That's right.
And there's other things that are about to happen that I know you know.
There's other things that are about to happen that I know you know. Boom. Now, also, I would like to bring everyone's attention to a drop from a particular organization that shall remain nameless so that I don't get this video hacked by the people here at YT. Lots of new emails. Many, many, many new emails. Now, I have not had a chance to go through here. Now, this is a large collection of emails. I believe them to be all new emails. I've never known this particular organization to make a double drop. So I would think that these are emails that have not yet been seen. Hopefully, in the next several days, a lot of dedicated people are going to be going through these emails and seeing what we can find. I know that I will, and hopefully I'll be reporting on it in the days to come. Now, next, I wanted to give a special thank you to my friend Jody, right here. She is the one who makes the yellow vests. She made me a custom vest. She put a corruption detector on the pocket right here. Pretty cool. And the vest is awesome. She said today she's going to make me a couple of vests for Muffin and Chi-Chi, for the dogs. So if you guys want to get one of these vests, you can reach out to Jody. Her email address is jodil792@yahoo.com. You can reach out to her directly, and you can order yourself one of these awesome vests, and I bet you she would even customize it for you. So I'm going to go ahead and add her email right here. You can email Jody right there, jodil792@yahoo.com. Now, next, this is a interesting little tidbit sent over by a friend of mine in my email today. His name is Ernest. Ernest takes a gander at the Chuck Lorre cards that he puts on the end of his videos, his sitcoms. Now, it was my understanding, and it was Ernest's understanding as well, that Chuck Lorre is a bit of a liberal. No big surprise. He's in Hollywood. But I just wanted to show you what he has traditionally written, and then I want to show you what he wrote on his most recent show. So this is from card number 541, back in November 3rd of 2016. He says, "Don't be fooled. Big Daddy can't save us. Our salvation lies within ourselves, within our own ingenuity and determined effort. Make America Great Again is a bumper sticker for victimhood. But we are not victims. We are the creators of opportunity. Sure, the system's rigged. It always has been. So what? We are a nation of immigrants who have consistently ignored the rigging. You don't let us join your club? Expletive you. We'll start our own club. You won't let us go to your school? Expletive you. We'll start our own school. You won't let us earn money your way? Expletive you. We'll earn it our way. You won't give us a chance here? Expletive you. We will go elsewhere. You want to know what makes America great? I got 2 words for you. Well, it doesn't take a genius to figure out what those 2 words are. But what Chuck Lorre was missing in this post right here is that as a nation of immigrants, we came here legally. We came here and we gained citizenship. Our forefathers came to this country. They became a citizen, and then that's why people like Chuck Lorre have the ability to live a godless life out in Hollywood. But Chuck Lorre's most recent vanity card goes a little something like this. I enjoy doing the scramble puzzle in the daily newspaper. This is a simple exercise generally looked down upon by serious crossword puzzlers. I don't care. I enjoy it and have learned to shrug off their holier-than-thou smirks when they walk by and see me scratching my head over a scrambled word. Which brings me to the word senator. I was recently thinking about the senators who are so desperate for power, they are willing to undermine the founding principles of our democracy. And then it occurred to me, if you play the scramble game with the letters in the word senator, you get an entirely different word. Go ahead, play, I'll wait. Now, he says, for crossword puzzlers, 7 letters, committed by Benedict Arnold. And that word is treason. So has Chuck Lorre had a change of heart? Has he realized over the last 2 years that the things that our president is doing is good for the immigrants of America? That it's good for the citizens of America? That it's good for all Americans? Perhaps, and I think it's a beautiful thing. And in the world of FEC violations, it looks like Jeb Bush is in trouble too. His super PAC was just hit with a massive FEC fine for accepting $1.3 million in illegal donations from a Chinese corporation. Please clap. The FEC hit Jeb Bush's super PAC with $390,000 fine for illegally accepting $1.3 million in donations from Chinese-owned corporation American Pacific International Capital during the 2016 presidential primary. And it turns out that Jeb Bush's brother Neil sat on the board for APIC. Jeb Bush founded the PAC in January of 2015, but handed over control of the PAC to Republican consultant Mike Murphy in the spring of 2016. Campaign Legal Center, a watchdog group, filed a formal complaint with the FEC in August of 2016, citing a report from The Intercept detailing how Chinese businessmen were illegally funneling money to Jeb Bush's PAC, Right to Rise USA. Now, this is from the August 2016 article. The Intercept has determined that a corporation owned by a Chinese couple made a major donation to Jeb Bush's super PAC, Right to Rise USA, and it did so after receiving detailed advice from Charlie Spies, arguably the most important Republican campaign finance lawyer in American politics. The Spies memo was dated February 19, 2015. 1 month later, American Pacific International Capital Incorporated, a California corporation owned by Gordon Tang and Huadin Chen, a married couple who are citizens of China and permanent residents of Singapore, made a $1 million donation to Right to Rise USA. APIC subsequently gave the group an additional $300,000, its total donation of $1.3 million, making APIC one of the Bush super PAC's largest contributors. The FEC responded to the CLC's complaint on Friday and hit Jeb Bush's PAC with a massive $390,000 fine in addition to $550,000 in penalties levied against APIC. This is one of the largest fines ever handed down by the FEC. Today's action is a rare and remarkable step by the FEC, and a reminder that safeguarding our elections against foreign interference is in America's vital national security interests. CLC President Trevor Potter said Monday in a press release, "This illegal $1.3 million contribution is unmistakable proof that Citizens United opened the floodgates to foreign money in the U.S., and it is surely the tip of the iceberg. The fact that the FEC, which so often deadlocks and therefore fails to act in violations, could agree on this one highlights the very real danger this sort of activity poses to our democracy. Foreign actors have a demonstrated interest in influencing elections, and corporations offer an easy way for them to do so, usually without detection," said Brendan Fisher, Director of Federal Reform at CLC. In this case, it took smoking gun evidence to establish this violation. If the president of the company had not admitted that he directed the contribution, the FEC never would have investigated it. Well, that's distressing. To all the tinfoil hat-wearing Russiagators, this is what foreign interference during a presidential primary election looks like. Meanwhile, government goons are hunting down President Trump over a lawful hush payment of $130,000 he made to porn star Stormy Daniels during the 2016 election. And again, it just goes to show, look at Russia, don't look at China. But here we have proof that China was trying to buy the next president of the United States. What do you guys think would have happened if Jeb Bush would have won? Not that it's likely that he would have won, but he would have certainly given special consideration to the Chinese and allowed our economy and our nation to be bled dry in the same way it has been by former administrations. So I really give a hat tip to the FEC on this one right here, and I only hope that they take a really good hard look at the Alexandria Occasional Cortex violations that we have heard about very recently. I also hope that they take a look at some other violations by other candidates and other people in PACs in this country, because I guarantee you this is not the first time something like this has happened. And that's all I have for you tonight. I want to thank you for joining me. As always, I am Red Pill 78, the corruption detector, and this was your Red Pill News. Good luck, everyone, and God bless.